Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Ashley here with Tolton Art. It's so great to have you here. Today we're going to be talking all about how to turn your art hobby into a business. So, maybe art's something new to you, maybe you've been doing it for a long time. Either way, it's been something that has been somewhat of a hobby up to this point, and now you're looking to transition into a business. And how do you do that? So let's kind of dive into it and unpack kind of the best strategies to get that done. I guess on like the business and legal side, the first step is that you have to register your business. I don't know what it's like across the entire world, but in the United States, you register with your state that you're going to be working in. And then you file for like the type of business you're going to be, whether it's a corporation, LLC, all these things. I'm not really going to be talking about that because though I do have opinions on it, it's probably better to just do a little bit of your own research just to make sure that it matches you. Go get professional help so that tax-wise you kind of understand everything that's going on. So we won't really talk about that aspect of it. I'm talking about more on the financial aspect and I guess somewhat of like the emotional aspect of it being a hobby and now a functioning business. So assuming you've registered, you've done all the legal matters. So what do you do? One of my first tips, just have very realistic expectations of where you're at, where you want it to go, and kind of the time frame of it. I can promise you the last thing you want to be is desperate and making art out of desperation. What I mean by this is that before you jump head in, you want to make sure that you have enough of a savings and enough of things to fall back on so that you don't feel like you desperately need to make money. There are people that do it successfully, and it ends up working out for them. I just think long term and on a bigger scale, that doesn't necessarily work out super well. And you'll hear why kind of as we talk through more of the points, but I think ultimately if you're in financial stress, it can either lead to great ideas or that desperation can lead to really bad ideas and ideas that lead you off track and into a business that you no longer identify with and connect with and have fun with. If you don't have much of a savings, I highly recommend staying at whatever job you're at or finding a job that's like part-time so that you can still have income coming in, but it allows you enough time to create your artwork and start building it up in a way that makes sure that that you are secure and safe and able to take care of yourself first, and thereby avoiding these desperate attempts. I think people pick up on that. And ultimately, those decisions, they aren't true to you in the sense where because you're making a desperate attempt, it might not necessarily be what's truly calling to you and like makes you feel fulfilled, which is a no-go because you want this business to work for you and be based on the things that you want to create. If you have a big savings, that's awesome, but like know your budget so that there's a very realistic expectation of if things don't take off right away. You should be prepared for that. So my next tip is to find your niche in both your style and your subject matter. And that takes time. We're allowed to grow and change as artists, so it can change as time progresses, but I do think based off of my own experience of running an art business for the last 2 years, having a niche style and subject matter it helps you, it helps your customers, people know what to expect, they can see the style and your vibe, so it's easier for them to like commission because they're connecting with a body of work. And same for yourself, just as the artist, you know that you're capable of these things And I don't want to put you into a box because I've been there too, where I was like, no, I'm box free. You can't contain me. I create whatever I want. But it did ultimately end up leaving me feeling very lost and kind of directionless. However, it was an important journey for me. So again, if that's kind of something you need to go through that, experiment with all the subject matters and styles and whatnot, but don't necessarily put the pressure on yourself to like turn it into a business right off the bat if you still need to go through that process. And then with that, once you do have a niche subject and style, the trajectory kind of goes that once you use that to gain your mass audience and client base, that's when you can start to branch out. Once you have a name for yourself, once you have consistent sales, once you're like in front of enough people and you have enough buzz around your name, then that's your opportunity to be like, oh, well, like I kind of want to try this and just see how it's received. That tends to be the business trajectory of how it can go is you niche, you master and maximize that one thing. Then when that growth happens, you can branch off from there. But now like you already have the following and the fan base, so it's easier. My third tip is to know what platforms you want to focus on and really focus on mastering and specializing on that. You can run yourself dry with doing too many platforms. So what I would do instead is pick a few and study them. So find people that are doing it well, study what they're doing, how they're doing it, and really just focus on doing those platforms very, very well. For me, that's my website, that's YouTube, and that's Instagram, which is honestly my Instagram's dropping off. It's very catered, but I just don't spend as much time posting every single day. In doing that, you're really maximizing your time and your efforts. Ultimately, if you're trying to turn your art hobby into a business, there are going to be a lot of changes when it comes to all the work that you're going to have to take on along with it. So you might as well save time and maximize your time and effort by just picking a few and doing it very well. My fourth tip is to have a portfolio and a body of work and a website. I think when you make that transition from hobby to business, one of the biggest differences is going to be this essence of a brand and cohesiveness. So having a website that is curated, it looks professional, it looks beautiful, and having a body of work for people when they show up, they can kind of very obviously see this subject and style. It's your way of demonstrating what you're capable of, the artwork that you want to create, but it's also your opportunity to show off and be like, this is what I can create for you. I don't want to put a number to it, but if I was to guess, I would say have at least maybe 15 in your gallery. I wouldn't go too excessive with the number in your gallery. I would keep it, within like the 15, 20 range. Enough that people can like scroll through and see different things and like just the style and the vibe, but not so much that people are like scrolling forever. Like to me, that just kind of feels, I don't know why, but it feels a little bit tacky if you have to like scroll forever. So to me, it's like keep it short, keep it simple, and really pack a punch with like the best stuff that you have to offer. So my last tip, which to me is the most important tip, this is literally what I tell everyone that talks to me about business stuff and asks for business advice. Go slow. This kind of embodies everything from even tip number 1 with financially, with tip number 2 with your niche, all of it. Just go slow. The slower you are, the faster it will happen. I know that doesn't make sense, but trust me, from someone who has started 3 or 4 different businesses, every time I've been hasty or desperate, I have forced things into fruition, and it ended up either not fitting me emotionally. I ended up losing money because of it, because I jumped in too quickly and aggressively. Or there was just something about it that just like didn't end up fitting me. And if I had just slowed down and taken the time, I would have worked that out better. And in some instances, I would have saved myself a lot of money because I didn't just jump on the bandwagon and do it. I could have waited. So in going slow, I mean, like, really listen to your business. Kind of watch your clientele feedback and really let your intuition guide you, because if you go slowly, I do believe that your business will kind of talk back to you in the sense where you'll find out what sells. You'll find out on social media what style ends up getting the most views. You'll end up getting customer feedback. You should add this as a print. You should add this into your merch options. Let this incremental improvement in yourself, let all the little things that you learn along the way, let that slow development guide you and guide your style, guide your brand, guide the subject matter that you're interested, and it will just end up being the most authentic version of your business, which is how you do this long term and be happy with it. I know I keep re-saying it, but it's literally that important, that slow development truly just allows you to learn the nuances and create a business that really fits you. And it allows you to make decisions that will actually help you if you're listening to your business and you're listening to your clients and you're being true to yourself for what you want to create. All the tips previously tie into this, because that's why you want the financial stability, is to give yourself that time to not be desperate, to not make hasty decisions. You want that time that if there are things that you're not that great at, it gives you the time to improve and work on that. That was a lot of talking, and I do apologize, but it is, again, this advice all comes from mistakes that I have made and mistakes that I've seen other people around me make. And it can be really daunting to turn your hobby into a business. From here, let me just close this off with some rapid fire kind of other quick tips. Another big thing that it comes down to is marketing. I would really dive into learning how to market. Again, this comes from knowing kind of your style and your brand, which platforms to put that on that'll do the best, which way to present it that will be received the best from your audience, and then just having a general understanding of marketing is going to help you a lot. And with that consistent brand, you'll be able to target very accurately an audience that wants to buy your work. The next thing is that I would also set an income. So if there is an amount that you know that you need to make within a year, I would write that down, set that up, and then work backwards. So for me this year, what I did, I set the amount that I want to make, and then I broke it up not only by month. I have markers that every single month I need to make this much in order to hit that goal, but then I also broke it down into 2-week sections. So every 2 weeks, I should be aiming to make this much in order to hit my goals. By working backwards, you can break it down to like, how many large paintings do I need to sell to hit that? How many small paintings do I need to sell? How many prints do I need to sell? And you can kind of break it up between, you can categorize it of like this many big ones, that many small, that many prints, this many stickers, whatever you're actually selling. You can break it down to that. And that also kind of gives you a good price guideline of what you need to be selling things for. Definitely helps keep you in the ballpark of what you need to charge for all your items and how much of them you need to sell in order to hit your goals and stay afloat. The next thing kind of with pricing is I would always start low. I didn't do this, so again, another piece of advice from my own mistakes. Start low so that you're selling out consistently, and then incrementally increase your prices. Sometimes that even means you're going to lose a little bit of money. Not great. I'm not an advocate for selling yourself short and undercutting yourself, but for the sake of long-term success, you might have to sacrifice a little bit of money just to show that you're making sales, you're getting your name out there, and you're getting kind of that growth and buzz around your name. That's way more important than initial financial success. Okay, that was a lot of talking. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found this helpful. I'm so happy to share the mistakes that I made in order to hopefully help you guys. Hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully it can help you avoid any mistakes that I made. And of course, I hope it can help you turn your hobby into a business confidently and successfully. So with that, thank you so much for joining. And as always, I can't wait to see you in the next one.